ISIS has benefited from a permissive operating environment due to the inherent weakness of the Iraqi security forces. This is one of your key people on Iraq who was raising this alarm in November of last year. Did this message get to the president?
Not to say that there wasn't an acknowledgement of the risk that this organization posed.
But if I can just stop you for a second, because 2 months after Brett McGurk says this, the president calls ISIL the JV team in an interview with the New Yorker.
We've been through this, and that's not
clearly talking about.
He
was clearly talking about ISIL because the question was about.
That's not true.
All right, folks, that's Jonathan Karl, and he's been great on this issue, as has Ed Henry. But in the case of Karl on ABC, it doesn't really make it to air. Even his own column naming 3 officials who warned of the ISIS threat, never mentioned by ABC News. Joining us now, Tim Graham, executive editor of NewsBusters and director of media analysis at the Media Research Center. Hey, Tim.
Hello.
You know, you and I, people like us, we watch these things, and we you know, you post great exchanges like this at newsbusters.org, and we see them, and I play them, but the average person doesn't get to see them, and it never, you know, here you have this grilling, and they go to the trouble of asking the right questions, which is, you know, was rare and is becoming more and more frequent in certain instances. And it never makes the newscasts of those networks where the reporters are battling the presidential spokesman.
It really is for naught. I mean, you have to wonder at this point why ABC employs a White House correspondent. When he's going to come out, he's going to challenge the press secretary in a very precise, factual way. And then ABC will say, no, I think we've got to spare 21 minutes for the George Clooney wedding. Because that's what you get instead. I mean, this ABC is where you tune in these days to say, I want to see video of a crocodile scaring a dog.
Yeah, no.
The other night when Eric Holder said he was resigning, ABC had nothing. And it's funny in a way, because you could say, well, at least they didn't come on and say he was the greatest attorney general of all time. But this is, again, ABC News these days is winning the ratings race, but just going to junk.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, you know, and depending on the story, either all the networks bail out, or, you know, in the case, as NewsBusters pointed out, on the fact that the intelligence community actually did warn Obama about ISIS, ABC and CBS both ignored that completely.
Well, and then you had CBS, Gayle King was interviewing Chris Christie the other morning, and he brings up that it's odd that Obama would say they got the intelligence wrong and doesn't take responsibility for it as commander-in-chief. And Gayle King always goes right back to, well, that's what some people would have said about Bridgegate, that you didn't take responsibility for it. And that's a fair question, but Steve Kroft didn't ask that question to Obama. Steve Kroft at CBS didn't say, wait a minute, you said they, aren't you responsible? There's no check. There's no balance. There's no attempt to pin him down on things. I mean, as Steve Kroft interviews go, I suppose that was a substantive question, but that he asked him, but he didn't follow up at all.
No, you're absolutely right. He didn't follow up, and I guess, you know, we're getting as tough an interview session as we're going to get in that under those circumstances from the mainstream media. I mean, I'm interested now in you know, in what's going on here with Ebola. I mean, I am not seeing the, you know, the CDC. I mean, where's Obama's plan? He might as well take to the podium today and say, I don't want to put the cart before the horse because we don't have a strategy on Ebola. But they're making it sound like the CDC, they got it all under control, baby. They're not even at the home where this victim came from. The partner and the kids of the victim are now quarantined for 21 days. The woman doesn't even know what to do with the sheets that he slept on. I mean, where's the plan here? What's going on?
Well, the Obama administration, of course, would point you to the 3,000 troops they sent to Africa. This is a story that the networks are doing with quite a, you know, with some aggression, because I think they realize this is a good ratings grabber. People are concerned about this, but they aren't exactly suggesting that in recent months, the CDC hasn't had issues in how it's been bizarrely and loosely sending highly infectious material around the country
Right.
in FedEx packages.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, they are not, their current record isn't exactly confidence inspiring. And the networks aren't exactly hammering on that.
No, and we'll see how that progresses. Always great to talk to you, Tim, Executive Director, NewsBusters.org. I say this all the time. Check that website out early and often every day because you'll learn so much about what's going on with the video, with the transcripts, to document every single bit of it. Give my regards to everyone there. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, Steve.
Tim Graham, ladies and gentlemen. And up next, we'll go Spinning the Law with Kendall Coffey. That segment is back, or if you keep it where it is on Newsmax Television.